Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are back in the Class-48, bringing it down off of the coal mountain, if you will. I just wanted to get it back to the line, being we kind of left it up there bringing the flat cars down. So I figured while I'm taking that trip, I would go ahead and show it. Haven't been in the 48 for a while. Not that I don't know. Everything on my game, I have to be honest, has been running a little sketchy now the last couple of days. So we'll just have to kind of see what happens and how it goes. But I know some of those little updates we got last week just have not done, at least my performance for the game, any great favors. I know we did some multiplayer stuff this weekend, and train lag and stuff like that obviously was pretty atrocious at points. If you didn't catch that, that's in the last video. Oh, that tree sprouted right in the middle of the track. I was like, whatever. And I did try to do some other loads, or I was running some wood, attempting to run wood up to the iron mine, and that did not go well, so I'm going to have to go in there and relay the track up to the iron mine, because I've always been able to pull 10 loaded wood cars up there with a Heisler, and it would not work. Just couldn't get up around that one corner that I made that's too sharp. The track is too sharp, too graded, and too wobbly in there, is just the truth. So I'm going to go ahead and relay that one coming up, but I'm going to lay it from the top down like I did the first time. I'm just going to get rid of the beta track that's there and relay it. Instead of trying to worry about copying what was there so much, I'm just going to relay it to whatever lays smooth. So that run will be coming up as an improvement for sure. Because it is just junk. Like, you can get cars up there, no doubt about it, but you're not pulling 10. And when it comes to delivering wood, like, anything under 10, I don't even have, I'm not wasting my time running anything less than 10 when it comes to, beams and boards, that's for sure. So, just take too many loads is the plumb truth. So we do have some beta stuff to relay. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to try to work, to be honest, with the performance that, the game's just a little bouncy since laying the beta track or getting all the beta track finished. And I don't know if it was due to updates or due to just finally laying out that much beta track or what that's been causing it to have some performance issues as far as I'm concerned. So I may just totally start over a whole new save spot now that, we're at that point where we've kind of figured out what we're doing. We got a good idea. I think it's maybe time that we just go in and start something new. So I'll keep this save spot around because it's got a bunch of money and it's got all the locomotives and it's got all that stuff. I'm really leaning towards starting a new save file and seeing how that goes. Seeing if we maybe get a little better performance with all new stuff, or if this is just kind of how the beta is. I've talked to some people and it seems like 50% of people say they haven't noticed any change at all. 30% say it was really bad to begin with, and 20% say that they've noticed the same changes that I have. So I haven't really necessarily gotten a great as to what's going on. I guess I don't have any idea as to what's going on. We've noticed people with basically matching systems do not have matching results as to their performance. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a download thing. I don't know. Haven't got a clue. If it's a Steam region thing, I don't know. But I have noticed that this is just a little joggy, and the game didn't used to be like that for me, so I don't know. We'll see. I think I'll definitely be trying something new just to put it through its paces and see how things function. Been a long time since we played around a little, excuse me, with the group this weekend on a new save file, but I think, we were playing with 5 people, and that definitely does not help performance. Although a couple of weeks ago we had 4 and 5 people in server, and it didn't seem to affect much. So I'm not, again, it's just a case of, I don't know. I mean, this isn't running too bad. The train's moving around a lot, but I guess the game itself isn't really running too bad. But it's not smooth like it was, so I just don't know. But we'll have to see. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to start laying around some new stuff and see how that goes. I just hate the idea of going back to no money, not having the routes connected, and no locomotives. But I also know that this safe spot now has, far too many locomotives, realistically. And, we probably have rolling stock and stuff like that we could have done better stuff with. Plus, I'd like to play around with the new paint when it comes to the rolling stock. And on this one, quite frankly, I don't have any real reason. There's only even 2 more trains that I really would have to set up. I could set up 2 individual trains for up at the coal mine. A wood hauler and a coal hauler. So that would give us a few new chances to play around with some of the paint and have some different looking stock. But it's like, unfortunately, I have tons of rolling stock, and it looks like what they gave us, not what, I picked, now that we would have an option to do that. So, definitely may see a new beta being started soon. Though I did even give some thought about switching back to the main just to see how that's running, because I guess, quite frankly, now I haven't been over to the main for a couple of months, so it may be worth taking a look at that as well. Though, then I gotta be honest too, starting a new save file, I'd have to look at like the tiers of the locomotives and all of that stuff. Of course, by the time you run out all your track, you're gonna have your tiers up to be able to buy pretty much whatever you want, now that I think about it. I mean, cutting down trees builds up your tiers pretty fast. So does unloading, so I don't know. I guess everything's still tossed up in the air, I guess. It would be nice to just see this one running smooth like it was, but I've been playing around with some graphics settings here and there, trying to get things to smooth out. But I just, I haven't figured out the key magic to whatever it is. And not that the game's running bad. It's just, I don't know. You can see a little bit of bounce. And maybe that's inevitable. I don't know. Maybe I can't get rid of that even if I do start a new beta. But we may definitely find out soon. Probably a couple more problems to fix on this one. And then I do want to twist this. Not twist it, but I would like to add in the functionality of real multiplayer running on this layout too. Just to always have as an option. But then for all the, how great the new beta is, which, it's really great having all the options and stuff. At the end of the day, I was always a big fan of the original mainline track laying look and all of it, This stuff definitely looks cooler. I'm not going to say that it doesn't. But the other stuff just did have a look to it that was cool, in my opinion. Definitely not as good looking though. But this, I've noticed that, like, you know, here, you bog down so much more in the beta than ever on the other, you know, on the main branch. And I don't know if that's because, let's say, curves affect things more, inclines affect things more, if that's because of the center spline now that runs down the middle, and actually that's what your track's on, because you're not actually interacting with the rails anymore, so it's some sort of predetermined, I suppose, you know, whatever, tension and grade, and so all that affects things more now. I don't know if it's affecting you, making your loads heavier, lighter, if you're running faster, if you find things bogging down, please comment in the comment section down below so get some idea of how it's working for everyone else. I personally have found that the trains pull much harder on the beta than I'll, you know, again, I pulled out my old track, put in with the beta track, so this stuff probably laid more true to actual inclines than our old stuff did. Also, the curves are maybe, you know, factored in more with the new splines. Not exactly sure. So, but I find for me, it's things are working definitely harder. I mean, I've taken runs now that would, you know, were absolutely routine before, and they will not work now. So, definitely a harder pull on the track, and I guess if I gotta relay some of the hardest track, I'd probably just go about relaying it all again at this point, and seeing that we can't just do some prettier, better work along the way. Though I absolutely, you know, hate the idea of going through and cutting down all the trees again. I have to be honest, the whole lumberjack simulator part is what honestly keeps me from relaying a new route. I think that's the biggest holdup. You know, yeah, I got all the locomotives and all the stuff in cash I can get, you know, pick up any new locomotive that comes out, no big deal. But let's be honest, you pick up cash fast enough delivering loads, you know. And it, you know, takes a while to grind there, but you definitely pick up a heck of a lot more money after you've got everything connected and the oil barrels and all that. So, I mean, too, it's been a long time since I haven't been able to make money fast on the game, so I don't know. I don't like the trees, and I don't like the idea of being out of money. But just deleting the track and relaying it again, I don't know if that makes any sense. If it would do anything for performance or not. And maybe we could just do a better job of laying with the beta than I did when I was trying to just basically put this in the same place that the old stuff was. So I guess there's a couple options. Keeping them open. Haven't set anything in stone yet. But I'm definitely going to try some new stuff because as is, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not super disappointed in the performance, but I'm not screaming up and down from the hilltops how smooth the game's running either. And whether that's, you know, beta or main, I don't know. I was always a hardhead for the main branch. Took me a long time to actually switch over to the beta, you know. And it's been great that I'm on the beta because, I mean, we've gotten tons of new toys and stuff like that that unfortunately the main branch does not have. So, or at least from what I hear. I shouldn't say the main branch doesn't have it for a fact because I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked now. So, but I'm assuming most of the stuff, I mean, they've been beta branch updates, which means they don't hit the main line. And I don't know if that, the 48, like the 48 and the Shea, I don't think they made the main line yet. So, who knows? I don't really like the idea of switching back and forth, though. That doesn't seem to do you any favors. Here we hit the bypass, which this is honestly probably the most piece of the new beta track I guess I'm the happiest with, is probably how the bypass came out this time versus the old bypass. I think this looks much better. But the original one, to be honest, was a long day of cutting trees and laying track. I mean, I guess this isn't running so unsmooth, but we'll see. It's hard to decide. You put an awful lot of work into your layout, and you put an awful lot of work into running your locomotives to get, you know, to build up for the other locomotives, that it's like, whoa. I mean, you know, when you get over 300 hours into one single save spot, I guess, I don't know, I'm somewhat attached to the save spot, and I don't feel like I'm done with it yet. So this save spot, I have a hard time giving up. It's been the main branch line for a long time. It turned into the beta. This has been the faithful, loyal line, I guess, if you will, for quite a while. I'm pretty partial to it, but attempting it again wouldn't be a bad thing with a little more knowledge either, so the decisions we have to make in RailRoads Online, right? I mean, I know some people really have shared great experiences about, you know, it was much better going back and starting a fresh beta with everything clean and clean save files and all of that, so maybe I'm leaning in that direction. This could be a farewell tour ride, I guess, looking down at the track and the smelters and things like that. As we're going by, I don't know. I'm pretty sure if I end up getting started into another layout, like, I won't be bouncing back and forth, that's for sure. I'll be grinding away on the new one. Back to 12 or 14 hour sessions. Well, that's probably not true, but I don't necessarily have that kind of time right now. But when we first started the game, I know I was running, you know, especially on the weekends, be like 14-hour days on this game, no problem. So once you get set in your head, you're going to start laying some track. You tend to get pretty involved. At least I do. Let's see if we can take out some of this. I'll try taking out all the mumbo jumbo and stuff like that. So any extra anything, so we'll try to button absolutely everything up tight on this one before I make any kind of moves, to see if I can't just increase performance and get that little bit back that it just feels like it's been missing. I mean, it could be any random clump of dirt that I put somewhere. It could be anything. I don't know, you know. You start sharing stories about when people's games went funny or whatever else. You just don't know. The multiplayer session the other day was pretty fun. I mean, that was definitely unique. Every time somebody'd snap in a new rail or something, the locomotives would just absolutely freak out, which was unique to see. So if you haven't caught that one, the last bit of that video, especially when we actually got the train rolling with all of us on it, was a pretty good look at performance popcorning, if you will. That was something. We all got tossed off the locomotive, or at least visually it looked like to each one of us. We pretty much got thrown right off the loco. So You know, what's that yellow? What is that? What is that? That's where we stopped. That's not a tree or anything. What's the yellow dot right in the middle of the rail? Oh, whatever that is. Things can't be right. And then, like, when I was pulling the Heisler around earlier, so I'm pulling the Heisler, and I got 10 loaded beam cars behind it. And all the 9 towards the back were fine, but the one right behind the Heisler, every time the Heisler turned, wouldn't even have to be a sharp turn or anything like that. The car right behind it was just like jumping all over the joint, tipping back and forth and rocking like I was going 100 miles an hour, even though I was nowhere near it. You know what I mean? It's just the weirdest thing. So I don't know. You know, that's another thing. I don't want to just can this because this save spot because I think there's some weird buggy things in RailRoads Online right now. You know what I mean? I mean, we've all experienced our fair share of bugs here and there playing the game. And I'm not, you know, nothing against it, whatever. Early access, I expect a few bugs, blah, blah, blah. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying we definitely know that sometimes the game goes a little funny, right? And so I don't want to like abandon a 3-hour or 300 plus hour save file for like, alright, it's just the game's got a little bug and next week it'll be fixed. So there's that too, you know. I would like to maintain the same save file the whole time I'm playing the game just to see how performance and stuff has been affected through the game. But yeah, we definitely got to come back and relay some of this stuff. This should not be. I got to switch in here, over here. I got to put in and fix. I mean, the track's complete, but I still need that one switch. And then we just have some things that are too sharp. So this may just be, we need to do some work on the track and see how things go from that, too. I'll definitely be doing that soon. So this one I know we can't run it too crazy because, ooh, just dropped that on my table, sorry. We are going to run into the back of the Heisler if we don't turn around and do something about it. Because it's on the same rail pretty much now, although I think we have one more, yeah, we have like one more rail up here that we can jump off. This one's got to go, I don't know really where it's got to go. I think I'm going to end up taking it out. I really have to turn it around pretty much or run it back up the hill the other side there. I have to come down from the coal mine, or the iron mine. I have to rerun that rail first and foremost. Because that's the one I couldn't get the 10 cars up it, and I couldn't back them out of there either. It just got stuck down in the middle. And I am not about to turn around and throw another locomotive on there to fix it or anything else. Like, that load should run that way, and the track's gotta be able to handle that. So it's a process of reworking the track more than it's going to be about putting anything else on there. I could definitely go back to running a double-headed Heisler or something, and I know I can sling it up that hill, but it's that's not how it's going to work. 10 cars for one load should run on any locomotive, or I need a bigger locomotive. But I'm not going to do the double-header thing for a while. I did that for a while. It works, but I like trying to make the single locomotives work with what they can, or with about as much as they can. Not that running this is probably not the right direction to take this thing either. Although I think we should be able to run it around the sawmill and run it out to the depot. I mean, most of this track is set up so that we can at least have 2 locomotives working in places at a time. So should be able to pull this off with the rail we have. switch. That switch waits to the absolute last opportune moment. I see there, you can see it kind of bouncing the logs and stuff, and that's seriously bothering me. Not really happy about that, so I don't know to what extreme I'm gonna have to take it. It may be about starting a new save file and stuff, because this one just may have been, who knows, man. I know they were talking about there was a corrupted data thing at some point that it was somehow saving like extra data to save files, and that was causing some problems. Now don't ask me the ins and outs of that, because I don't know what they actually are. I'll be the first one to admit I have no idea what that really means, but you know, my game went from running not problematic to all of a sudden I'm not real happy with it. So, you know, my save file might have gotten stupefied, and if that's the case, then you know, I'm just gonna have to deal with it and start over, which watching these logs do that is really making me go, you know what? Maybe just no more just buying everything on this one and actually just get the ball rolling on something new. Plus, I'm looking at how, like, I'm really unsatisfied, to be honest, with some of how the beta laid out. Like, this I really like, this I really don't like. Although, I just don't like where the rail connects, and that I should be able to fix easy enough. I just have to go in and not try to duplicate the janky old track that was there and just lay in what you can with the nice new splines, and that's the truth. I think that's where I got bit on some of this layout, is that I just really tried to lay it where the old janky track was, and you can lay the new stuff better than that, so I shouldn't have done that. And maybe that'll be the process. I don't know. I'd love to think I could go through, delete all of the rail, all of maybe even the locomotives, and start from there. At least I'd have some money to buy what I need along the way, and it wouldn't be a big deal. Man, I'm pretty sure I have enough money to pretty much buy everything I would need. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm back up to 24,000. Oh, I'm not gonna look. Whoa! Wrong one. I do dig this. The look out the back of these is pretty cool. Oh, not when it's going crazy. That's pretty neat, though. I do dig that. And I do want to double this track back. But I don't know. I'm so undecided about it. It's like it is fun starting back at the beginning and relaying all that track. The only time it's not fun is when, you know, you're trying to pull loads up to the coal mine or to the iron mine with Betsy. I mean, and I'm not saying that it's not fun early in the game, but like once you get going, you like to pull like some big loads, heavy, and get paid, fill stuff up. And I've kind of gotten to that part of the game, I guess. I don't know how I'd be about starting a new one. See, that guy's too tall, man. I wish they would, like, seriously shrink the character profile. How hard can it be? Now, again, I don't want to pick on the game for that one, but, like, come on, man. You got the only character profile that does not fit the game, and I don't know where, how, or what happened that occurred, but he doesn't fit. His arm's sticking out the side, and his head is too tall, and that should be fixed. And for multiplayer players, they need some way to actually, like, change the attire or the look of the old man, whether it's a different color hat, suit, pants. I don't care what. But something. Because that is really hard to tell people apart when you're playing multiplayer. That's the one other thing I'll say. So I guess we're going to turn around and just park Tubby here, number 9, at the old dock, being that he has arrived. Whoa, what are we doing? It's one way to get out of the train. Alright, so there we are, number 9, Class-48. Still think it's a great looking locomotive. Slightly disappointed that the paint is fixed and we can't change it to other colors, but looks great either way. But if it were in black, that would be nicer. But there you go. So I guess we will call that one a success of sorts. We definitely got the Class-48 down to the depot, and that was the end goal. Didn't really think that the video would run out this long, but we did make it all the way down. So there we go. I think we'll call that one a soft win for the day. And say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.